Hey, this video is we're going to talk about foreclosure. If you find yourself in a foreclosure, it's not the end of the world. Life does happen. I'm going to go through some of the processes in the next few videos about foreclosure, some things you can do. First of all, foreclosures do happen. Obviously, there's a lender calling in a note because there was failure to pay or something along those lines. The first step in a foreclosure is going to be called a list pendants. List pendants is where the bank files a motion. You don't always have to be personally served for the motion, so they can do a list pendants without personally serving you. So make sure that you're not thinking that you're holding up the process by not being served. The process in most states will continue with the list pendants. The list pendants does become a public knowledge, so it's not unusual for you to start getting the calls from the investors, the companies that are wanting to buy your property, do the creative financing. The first thing what's important when you do go into foreclosure is to know your rights, know the process, and you need to know if your home has equity or not. Equity is the difference between what you owe and what the property will sell for. And what affects the property's sale value is obviously the value of the house plus the condition of the house. And timing is very important in a foreclosure. Not that they're going to take your house real quick, but the lender has a servicer. The servicer gets paid for every service they do on the loan. So if they're mowing your grass, if they're doing inspections, if they're doing a number of services you don't even know, they're adding that to the bill. Plus the amount of time you have is going to open you up for the different options you have. Whether we can do a traditional retail sale, have time to list the property, get the maximum equity out of it, have time for a mortgage to close, where someone could purchase the property through a mortgage. If you wait till like the last week before your property is going to auction, you're going to have a lot less options than what you would have if you start the process sooner. So one of the things that we need to look at is the equity of your property. There's no two situations that are ever the same in a foreclosure. We've helped people for 20 years that have had distress situations, and like I say, life happens. But knowing the process, knowing the steps you can do, finding out, getting yourself educated on whether there's equity in the property, the type of options you have, whether it's a traditional sale, a short sale, there's things that the lender is going to offer you called cash for keys, deed in lieu of foreclosure. All of these things you need to kind of educate yourself on. We're going to go into the types of sales in the next video. But for example, the lender may offer you a cash for keys or a deed in lieu. This would not be a good idea if you have equity in the property. It would also not be a good idea because you will get a 1099, which you will have to count income toward the loss of the property. So you could end up owing the government money with those. Anyway, we can go over those in depth. My name's David Cool. I'm the broker and the owner with Cool Realty. We cover all of Northeast Florida. And if you want some more information on this, please set up an appointment with me. We give free consultations. We're not an attorney, but we do also give you advice on, some things you can do yourself to delay the process as well, to buy yourself some more time. We can look at your situation. We can look at, what's the right options for you, let you make an educated decision. The first thing I would suggest you do is to rationally think through whether you're going to try to keep the property, whether you're going to want to sell the property. If you try to keep the property, obviously the easiest way is to bring everything current. The lender is going to want all their back payments, attorney's fees, junk fees, whatever other fees they put on you, paid up in a single payment. So if you try to just make partial payments during this time, most likely they're just going to send the money back to you and continue with the foreclosure. If you wanted to do what's called a restructuring of the loan, what they're going to do is they're going to add all the money that you owe, attorney's fees and everything, and they're going to add that to the back of the mortgage, which you're going to owe more money, which also could take away your equity if you later try to sell. They're also going to refinance you at a higher interest rate, which is going to take away some selling options that you might have. If you're planning on staying in the house, that could be an option for you, but you are taking on more debt and the house is going to lose more of its equity. So that is one option you can do. You need to seriously look at your situation. If you can't afford the house or something's happened in your situation, it could be a burden that you're better off not having. And, you can restart, recreate your credit and so forth. Okay, guys, so we're going to kind of go through a summary. I kind of went through a lot of stuff really quickly. First of all, we talked about time is of the essence when you are in foreclosure. Not that they're going to take your house right away, but you're going to incur expenses from the servicer. That's occurring every day, and every task they do, that does take away from your equity. Obviously, when the list pending becomes public knowledge, you're going to get a lot of people calling you trying to take your equity, which will be the investors, the buy your house for cash deal, all these guys. Sometimes they are the right people to work with. Most of the time they're trying to get your equity, and that's where they're going to make their money, is off your equity. The other thing is the options we have that can help your credit. It's still going to hurt your credit, but it won't be as devastating as a foreclosure. The other thing, thinking rationally through the process, determining what's best for you and your family, whether it's selling, keeping the house. The worst thing you can do is nothing. A lot of times it's a natural reaction when you have a devastating thing like a foreclosure happen. You just don't want anyone to talk to it. You just kind of bury your head in the sand like an ostrich, and you just, you want it to not happen. It's going to happen if you do nothing. Doing nothing is the worst thing you can do. Time is, the quicker we put an action in place, the quicker you can get more money in your pocket to restart. Equity, again, is the difference between what you owe on the house and what the house is going to sell. We talked about the difference between the lender, who you may not know who the lender is, and the servicer is the person you make your payment to. They get paid for services they do. If they change the lock, if they come out and do a visit on your house, all of those things, they're occurring charges. The attorney is the person that is hired from the servicer to foreclose. The local judge will be a judge in your local county. They will have processes as well. We didn't talk about bankruptcy. We will get into bankruptcy in the next video. That may or may not be a good option for you. Usually I find that it's not. Restructuring the loan, if you're wanting to sell, typically does not help you in your equity. It can delay things, but you do have to qualify for that. They're going to take all the back payments and put that onto the back of the loan. They're going to raise your interest rate. Some of the things that we can help you with is if you have a low interest rate, that's a positive. If you have equity amounts that we can make a deal happen. The more time we have too, the more options you're open to for different types of purchases, from a retail purchase to a quick cash sale. There's a lot of difference in how much you'll profit. Condition of the property. There's so many things in a foreclosure. I've been doing this, like I said, no two deals are ever the same. I need to meet with you, schedule a time with me, let me look at the property, let me look at your paperwork, where we're at. Let's get a value of your house with the condition and everything. That would be the place I would start. Again, I'm David Cool. Please like and subscribe. People work really hard on these videos. Give us a call, drop us a line, give us any questions. We look forward to meeting you and helping you out with your situation. You have a wonderful day.